London Bridge is falling down, falling down, falling down. London Bridge is falling down. Mo wà láwọn olùpẹ̀ pé ká fẹ́ ṣe class gbogbo everywhere wa falling down. London Bridge is falling down, falling down, falling down. London Bridge is falling down, falling down. بسم الله في النظم أوله تبارك الرحمن. You said they took all your assets. What's they to assume that there are $100 they haven't got? What the fuck? Dollars. Where so you had the worth of 17 million. Well, they just where's the rest? Ah, they must have hit. Maybe I lost. You said that. You said they took all their assets. What's this? Are they to assume that
Strong. Strong.
Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Can we all hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
MashaAllah. Mm. Mhm. Where is everybody? We don't still learn farq, yeah? Hello.
Yeah.
So we don't still learn farq. So we're starting from Mad al-Tamkin today. You guys never even asked why I'm always leaving my hair bushy. There's a reason for that. Bismillahi wa salatu wa salam. Bismillahi wa salatu wa salam ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa ba'd. Mad al-Tamkin. Mad al-Tamkin is the mad that must be implemented when two ya meet and the first ya has kasra, shadda, and the other one that follows has sukun. Example, the first ya has what? Kasra, shadda, so shadda, kasra. The second ya has what? Has sukun. So we have 2 years and the first year is having shadda, kasra. We merge the 2 years like nabiyina wa idha hujitum hujitum. So this is ya kasra huji. Then joining with this other ya. Wa idha hujitum bitahiyya hujitum. That's maddu tamkin. So maddu tamkin is the mad that is pronounced when we have 2 years coming after each other, with the first year having shadda kasra and the second year taking sukun. وَإِذْ أَخَذْنَا مِنَ النَّبِيِّينَ مِنَ النَّبِيِّينَ وَإِذَا حُيِّيتُمْ مِنَ النَّبِيِّينَ. These are the 2 major examples. It's possible that when you look at the Quran, you can find other examples, but it's not really common. So what is qalqala? Al-qalqala. The alphabets of qalqala are in the word kutubujadin. Kutubujadin. Ko, to, ba, jim, dal. Whenever any of these alphabets take sukun, we pronounce them in a special way, like as if it is like as if we are like creating an echo from stopping on them. You know, when you do sukun, when sukun comes on alphabet, it's like as if you are slightly stopping on that alphabet and you're moving on to the next alphabet. But these alphabets, they come with what? They come with like I see there's an echo sound added to them. So qalqala can be categorized into 2 major types. We have qalqala to kubra, which is big qalqala, and qalqala to sugra, which is small qalqala. Big and small qalqala. Qalqala to sugra. If the origin of the vowel in the word is sukun, like if like the origin of the tashkil, like is it fatha kesor, if the origin of the sign on that alphabet is what? Sukun, then it is qalqala to sugra. What do we mean by origin? If there is no a reason that made us convert something to sukun, if when you write the word normally, the original vowel on that sound is sukun. It's not like, oh, something happened. For example, it is the last alphabet of the last word in a sentence. So the verse, when you're reciting a verse and you're stopping on the last word, because you're stopping there, you're now you're changing the actual sign. Maybe it's fatha kesor doma, you're changing it to sukun. So the sukun is what? It's not arido. Then you say, okay, then that is what? That is, there's a reason that caused, there's a reason for that sukun to be there. But like here now, for example, yaqta'una, that's the way the word is. This cough takes sukun normally. The sukun did not come as a result of something. The sukun is there already. So instead of us to say yaqta'una, instead of it to be silent, like as if you are stopping on cough, it will be yaqta'una, 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 yaq. Instead of yaq, the qa sound like as if what? There's an echo coming out of the cough. Yatma'una. Instead of us to say yatma'una, it will be what? Yatma'una. أفتطمعون تطمعون يطمعون يطو. Instead of it to be yatma'una like every other alphabet, because to is an alphabet of qalqala, the echo sound comes out of it, becomes what? Yatma'una. ويجعلون ويجعلون. Instead of ويجعلون, ويجعلون is wrong. It's not ويجعلون. ويجعلون ويجعلون لله البنات. يدعو is wrong. It's not يدعو because that is qalqala. It is what? يدعو. يدعو is what is correct. يدعو لمن ضره أقرب من نفعه لبئس المولى. The next word لتبلون. Instead of latublawunna, not latublawunna. Latublawunna is wrong because ba is an alphabet of qalqala. The echo sound has to come out of it. Latubelawunna. So what this means that from what? Ko, to, ba, jim, dal. All the alphabets of qalqala, when they take sukun, they don't stay just silent. They come with an echo. So what is qalqala to kubra? If the origin of this word isn't sukun, if that particular alphabet that is taking sukun, and that alphabet is one of the alphabets of what? Qalqala. But what? The origin of the sign on it is not sukun. We change it to sukun due to certain reason. For example, due to it being what? The last word in a verse, then we convert it to sukun. If that's the reason, or like if there's any other, if we are stopping on it, and because we are stopping on it, we are now converting whatever sign is on it to sukun, then it will be called qalqalatul kubra. Then it will be called qalqalatul kubra, and the sound will be a bit heavier. For example, خلاق ومنهم من يقول وبناتنا في الدنيا وما له في الآخرة من خلاق. Can you say خلاق? If it was an ordinary alphabet, it would be خلاق. But because qaf is an alphabet of qalqala, that's come kind of like echo. ما لها ما يقول بناتنا في الدنيا وما له في الآخرة من خلاق. Can you see this even sounds more than this? For example, أفتطمعون. Can you see I'm like just touching the toe, I'm moving. I'm not putting so much effort on the toe. But when you look at this, stopping at it, what does it do? It creates a need, or how do I put it? For me to make the qalqala even more obvious. إلى سواء الصراط. Can you see? Sirat. The qalqala is even more obvious. Anna Allah shadidul adhab. Shadidul adhab. Say of adhab. I'm saying adhab. Zawjin bahij. Zawjin bahij. عذاب شديد. عذاب شديد. Can you see? So when it's kubra, is when the origin of what? The sukun on any of these alphabet of qalqala. It's not actually sukun. If it's fatha, kesra, or dhamma, or something that is there before. But we converted it to sukun because we are stopping on it. Because it's what? Either the last word in the verse, or we are stopping on it maybe at the middle. So it's fair to say that when any of the alphabets of qalqala comes in the middle of a word, it is sugra. And when it comes at the end of the verse, it is kubra. That's another way to put it. So when it comes in the middle of a word, so when you have sukun on any of kotoba and jim, And that alphabet comes in the middle of the word. Can you see? Cough is coming in the middle of the word. To is coming in the middle. Jim is coming in the middle of the word. So this is what's called to sugro. But when any of these alphabet, ko, to, ba, jim, dal, coming at the end of the word, you can, it's fair to say that is what called to al kubro, because you have to like be, so you have to like show more emphasis on this color. So that will be the explanation and the difference between color to sugro and color to kubro. Like I stated here, you notice that the clearest difference is that when you want to do for color to sugro, like small color, where you don't put so much emphasis on it, you see that it comes at the middle of the word. But what color to kubro comes at the end of the word. Kotoba jim dal will take what? Will take sukun at the end of a particular word. And then you are stopping on that word. So the color comes out. Today we're now taking Tarqiq and Tafkhim. Can you guys see me? Can you see me? I can't hear.
Yes.
You can see my face.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, that's because it's really important for Tarqiq and Tafkhim. Okay, you can mute your microphone. So today we'll be going to Tarqiq and Tafkhim. We'll be taking Tarqiq and Tafkhim in the most unconventional way. I've not seen anybody taught Tarqiq and Tafkhim like this. Because when you talk about Tarqiq and Tafkhim, they say heavy letters, light letters, full mouth letter, light mouth letter and stuff like that. I don't know. But like the concept of Tarqiq and Tafkhim, I'll give you like the easiest way for you to understand it. So what is Tarqiq? This is a concept or expression where you free your mouth of air and pull your lips aside like a smiling person. When you're pronouncing an alphabet and it requires you to do like this, the process of pronouncing the alphabet requires you to do like this. What you've done is referred to as what? Tarqiq. What is tafkhim? Tafkhim is an expression where you protrude your mouth without showing your what? Without showing your teeth. Something like this. Anything that requires you, when you want to pronounce the alphabet requires you to do something like this. Like when you want to pronounce the alphabet, you are protruding your mouth. It's requiring you to protrude your mouth. That's what? That's tafkhim. And we have Jawaz Wajhain. There are some alphabets that work on both situations. Okay? So we have some alphabets that can be Tarqiq and Tafkhim at the same time. And we're going to explain Tarqiq and Tafkhim with two major alphabets. Okay? Just follow as we go ahead. So we're taking Ra first. Tarqiq and Tafkhim of Ra. When Ra takes sukun, the vowel that comes before it determines the ruling. Okay? When Ra takes sukun, whatever comes before Ra determines what? Determines the ruling of what? The ruling of the Ra. First, we have to understand that Ra itself, Ra with Fatha, is what? Is Tafkhim. Why? Because when you want to say Ra Fatha, Ra. Ra. You don't say R. You say Ra. Ra keso Ri. Ra doma Ru. So Ra Fatha Ra and Ra doma Ru is what? Tafkhim. Ra, Ru. But let's continue. What is Tarqiq? When Kasra comes before Ra, it is considered to be Tarqiq. For example, Fir'aun. When I wanted to pronounce the Ra was pronounced while my mouth was what? Put behind. Fir'aun. Pausing. Can you see? For me to pronounce the Ra taking sukun, it took its sukun while my mouth was what? Wide, moved to the back, and like what? Shown like as if I was what? A smiling person. Fir'aun, pausing, sirron, Fir'aun, 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 Qirtasin, Qirtasin. This act of pulling your mouth to this way is what is called tarqiq. And so when the vowel that exists, the tashkil, on the alphabet that comes before the ra is what? Kasra. We do tarqiq. We widen our mouth. Okay. So now let's go to tafkhim. So I would move this here because this is supposed to be here. But let me first respond. Tafkhim. When kasra, when fatha or dhamma, this is an error. When fatha or dhamma comes before ra sukun, then that constitutes tafkhim. Easy example, the most common example. Maur. You see the ra sukun was pronounced while my mouth was what? Protruded. Maur yam. This can also be an example of tafkhim, but we refer to something like this as what? Ijazu wajhain. Like it could be tarqiq or tafkhim. So let me not add it to the tafkhim examples. Let me just add it to ijazu wajhain because I already had written it here already. Another example of tafkhim is what? Burhan. Can you see? Burhan. Can you see that my mouth was actually what? Protruded to the front to pronounce the ra. So the ra sukun was pronounced while my mouth was protruded. Maryam. Burhan. Now it just wajhain. It's a situation where we can decide to either do tarqiq or tafkhim. And we find this situation when what comes before the ra sakin is kesra, and what comes after it is one of the alphabets of isti'la. The examples of alphabets of isti'la include khussa, dogtin, qivwan. So the alphabets of isti'la are kha, sod, dod, ghain, ta, qaf, and va. When any of these alphabets, so when we have a word, okay, we have ra sukun. What comes before the ra sukun takes kasra. What comes afterwards, after the ra sukun, is what? One of the alphabets of what? Isti'la. So what comes before ra sukun does not really matter. It's what comes after it. So if you have ra sukun and what comes after ra sukun is what? Any of the alphabets of isti'la. Kha, sod, dod, ra, pa, qaf, and va. You can either do tarqiq or tafkhim. So it's called what? Ijaz wajhain. I can say firqin. I can say firqin. The both is correct. Labil mir sod. I can do tarqiq. Mir sod. I do labil mir sod. Labil mir sod. It's also correct. So I can decide to protrude my mouth or bring it to the back. So when any of the alphabet of isti'ala, any of this alphabet, when they come after ra taking sukun, we can either do tarqiq or tafkhim of ra. So this situation is called i'jazu wajhain, possibility of what? Both situations. So that will be all about tarqiq and tafkhim of ra. Any questions on that?
So, Assalamu alaikum.
Alexa.
So I just want to ask if we're just trying to recognize them, or there's like a particular thing we're supposed to do there.
Whenever you like see ra sukun and it's come before it, what comes before it is kesra. Fir'aun. You're meant to pronounce it like that.
Or
Okay.
it's just like laying emphasis on
You know, it's like you're like widening your like the two edge of your lips
Yeah.
when you pronounce the raw. Firaun. But like when you want to pronounce an alphabet, and like what comes before the raw sukun is fatha or dhamma. Maryam, Maryam, Burhan, 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 Maryam, Maryam, Burhan. I'm not saying Maryam. I'm not saying Maryam. I'm saying Maryam. The raw is pronounced while my mouth is protruding. Okay. So what you're learning is that how do I put it? What to do when you have like raw sukun and what comes before it is fatha kesra or dhamma. Then now I don't care about what comes before it anymore. If what comes after it is an alphabet of isti'ala, any of the alphabets I showed, then it can be either way. La bil mir sod. La bil mir sod. Both correct. So that's what is referred to as what? I'jazu wajihayn. Visibility of two situations. Are we good? Kajiko. Now we'll move on to the last topic in the slide. Oh, okay. I'm not done with Turkic and Tafrim of raw. The following should be noted. Naturally, when raw is pronounced with fatha or dhamma, it's tafkhim. As I've said, raw fatha, raw, that's tafkhim. Raw dhamma, ru, that's tafkhim. Just like the original state of fatha and dhamma on raw, just like the original state of fatha and dhamma on raw is observed with tafkhim, when raw has kasra on it, it is pronounced by doing tarqiq. Ri, 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 ri. So normally when raw has fatha or dhamma, raw fatha, raw dhamma, ru, raw keso, ri, ri. So like for you to understand, like the original state of raw, when it takes fatha and dhamma, is what is tafkhim, by protruding your mouth, and when it takes kesra is what when it takes kesra it's what tarqiq, by pulling what your mouth aside. A very special scenario is also when the raw takes sukun and the alphabet before it takes sukun, but the sukun is ayarido, that it's the original vowel on the alphabet before the raw is not kesra, is not sukun, but became sukun for some reason. Okay. A very special scenario is also when the raw takes sukun and the alphabet that comes before it takes sukun, but the sukun is ayarido, that is the vowel on the alphabet before the raw is not kesra, but became kesra for some reasons. For example of this is hamzatul wasl. Then in this special case, we do tafkhim rather than tarqiq. We know already that when kesra, we know already that when kesra comes before raw sukun, what do? We do tarqiq. For example, Fir'aun, fa has kesra, raw sukun, Fir'aun. We're supposed to what? Widen our mouth, okay? So, but for some reason, when the sukun that is on it is what? Arido. What is arido? In the sense that what? Look at Hamzatul Wasl. This is Hamzatul Wasl. It's not like it's kesra on it. But if I want to start from here now, I'll say irji'u. You get irji'u. So instead of me to say irji'u, doing tarqiq by pulling my mouth aside, the correct thing to do in this situation, if the kesra is sukun is arido, that is this Hamzatul Wasl, as we know. Hamzatul Wasl is like Hamza that does not have anything on it. Do you get? So like it has like Hamza that has sukun on it. I showed you in the last time. It has like a kind of like special like shape on it. That's what Hamzatul Wasl. Hamzatul Wasl is that Hamza that alif that does not have like Hamza on it. And like when you're reading and you're in the middle of a sentence and you're reading it together, you don't pronounce the Hamza, you just ignore it like as if it's silent, like as if it doesn't exist. But if you are starting from that word that has Hamzatul Wasl before it, then it becomes a significant Hamza that requires to be pronounced, that needs to be pronounced. So if you look at this word, each of you to say irji'u, irji'u, irji'u. You are meant to do what? Tafkhim, because the sukun is what? Arido. So whenever you find this kind of special situation, what is the special situation? We know that when an alphabet takes kesra before sukun, we do tarqiq. For example, fir'aun. But the kesra here is not an original kesra. It's a kesra that exists because what? Because of hamzatul wasl. Because what it takes is what? Original is what? Sukun. This hamzatul wasl original, the original vowel on it is what? Sukun. But this time around, we are converting it to kesra because we are starting on it. Then it becomes instead of it to be irji'u, it will become irji'u, irji'u. We are doing what? We are doing tafkhim. So this is a special situation. This is a common error. Many people recite by saying irji'u, irji'u, and that's an error. An error that you don't even notice that you are making. So it's an error. Whenever you find this kind of situation, you pronounce what? Irji'u, irji'u. You do what? You do tafkhim. Finally, the word Allah. If what comes before the word Allah is fatha or dhamma, we do tafkhim. And if it's kesra, we do tarqiq. That's the easiest way to explain it. For example, can we see that this is the word Allah? Right? When fatha comes from it, before it becomes what? Min Allah. Min Allahi dhil ma'arij. Min Allah. Min Allah. Can you see the protrusion? My mouth is protruded. So now we are focusing our tarqiq and tafkhim on lam here. So we are doing tarqiq and tafkhim on lam. Unlike the previous lesson that we did it on what? We did it on raw. So it is Mina Allah. This lam is what? Is where we are doing what? We are doing the tafkhim on. Min Allah, Allah, Min Allah. That's tafkhim. Also, it's very important to understand that tafkhim, another name for tafkhim can also be what? Taghlib. But let's leave that. Let's not focus on it. So this is what? Min Allah. So we pronounce law because what? The tashkil that came before what? Before the word Allah itself as a whole is what? Is fatha. That breaking down this Min Allah is like something like this. Min Allah. So now if you look at this word itself, you see that Allah is broken down into like alif, first lam, second lam, mad, then ha. If you look at this alif and lam itself, this first alif and lam, Min Allah. If you remember the sun and moon letters that we did earlier, you see that lam is among what? The sun letters. So what that means is that what? We will not pronounce this first alif and lam. So it's like what we're pronouncing is Mina. We are cleaning this. And we're going straight here. Law. Mina law. So if I were to do the tajweed ruling, if someone asks me what is the tajweed ruling of this, what I'll tell him that I'll say, oh, okay, the tajweed ruling is that what? The first lam is what? Lamu shamsiya. And what is lamu shamsiya? What do we do when we have lamu shamsiya? We do idgham. So this will be what? Idghamu al-lamu shamsiya. What happens to the second lam? The second lam is what? Law. We did law because before the whole word Allah itself, fatha comes before it. So what do we do to this particular lam? Law, we protected our mouth. Min Allah, and that's tafkhim. So this will be called what? The ruling for this second lam is what? Tafkhimu lamu lafzul jalala. Min Allah. So let me explain it. Since I've explained it now, let me read what is here. When we explain the ruling, we say the ruling of the first lam is idghamu al-lamu shamsiyya. The ruling of this. And the ruling of the second lam will be taken as what? Tafkhimu lamu lafzul jalala. This will be what? Tafkhimu lamu lafzul jalala. So it is law when we have fatha before the word Allah. So for example, in this kind of situation, when we have this example, when kasra comes directly before the word Allah, is what? Same as what? Billah. Now we're saying la. Can you see? We're doing tarkik. Billah. It becomes la and not law. It becomes la when you have kasra before the word Allah. When you have fatha before the word Allah, it is law. Minallah, which is what? Which is tafkhim, law, position of your mouth. When you put kasra before the word Allah, it becomes la, billah. That's tarqiq. Billah. The hamzatul wasl is ignored. The first lam is idgham lam shamsiyya. Can you see? This is hamzatul wasl also. Hamzatul wasl again. Let me use this to explain hamzatul wasl again. Min Allah. If I'm to start from here, I'll give the hamzatul wasl fatha. It becomes Allah. Can you see? The hamzatul fatha is significant now. But when it's in the middle or when I join something before it, min Allah, I ignore the hamzatul wasl. The same thing here. When kasra comes before the word Allah, it's la, not law. When kasra comes before it, it becomes billah. So the hamzatul wasl is ignored. The first lam is idgham lam shamsi. And the second lam is what? Tarqiqu lam lafzul jalala. Billah. La. Can you see? La. So when kasra comes before the word Allah, it is what? It is what? Allah. We do tarqiq. The third one. Adhabullah. Adhabullah. So this refers us back to the similar example. When the word that comes before Allah is fatha or dhamma, we pronounce Allah, Allah, Allah with the position of our mouth. Allah, Allah, Allah. When kasra comes before it, we pronounce Allah, billah, billah, billah. And that's the difference. And by pronouncing Allah, because you protruded your mouth, you've done what? You've done tafkhim. Allah, Allah, tafkhim or taklif. And when you put kesor, billah, billah, you've spread your mouth, and that's what? That's referred to as what? Turkey. Miscellaneous. Stopping on the word Allah constitutes a special kind of mad, referred to as what? Mad ta'vim. ذلك الفضل من الله من الله. Stopping on the word Allah. عذاب الله. مد التعظيم. That's referred to as مد التعظيم. That will be the end of today's session. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. But yeah, questions. You guys can mute your microphone. I want to answer questions. If you don't ask me a question, I'll ask you a question. If you don't ask me, I'll ask you. If you don't ask me, oh yeah, Sheikh Habibullah. When do we say Allah? And when do we say Allah?
When do we say what?
Allah. Allah. When do you say Allah? When do you say law?
We say law when we are doing tafkim. When
What constitutes the thing? What constitutes it?
when the Fatiha comes or the one comes before the word Allah. Allah.
Allah. When is Kesra occur?
Tarkik. Billahi.
Billah. Zainab, what does Aarido mean? When you say Sukun is Aarido, what does it mean? Zainabu. Zainaba. Is she here? Zainab. 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 Can she hear us? Zainab.
Hello.
Zainab.
Yeah.
Where were you?
I was here.
What did you say?
I was here. I was finding myself.
What does it mean that when you say sukun is arido?
I think you're stopping on the sukun.
A sukun is referred to as a higher rido if the an alphabet is referred to as arido if what? If the origin of the alphabet is not kesro, and then it becomes kesro for a certain reason. Okay, like something is
Okay.
not like if it's, for example, you have Amzatul Wasl in Irgio. That was where I gave the example. Irgio. If you look at Irgio, it's Amzatul Wasl that is before it. Amzatul Wasl is taking sukun, but it became kesro because we want to start from there. Irji'u ila abikum, for example, Surah to Yusuf. So the common mistake that people make when they do that is because we already know that when Kesra comes before Ra, we do what? We do terpik. Fir'aun, Fir'aun. Now, Irji'u, it's not like it's Amza to Qat'i that as a Amza day. It's like Amza to Wasl. So it means the origin is not Amza Kesra. We converted it to be kesro because we wanted to start from that word. Then it becomes irji'u. But a lot of people make mistake and they pronounce what? Irji'u, not knowing that it's wrong. That when the sukun is what? Ayarido. That the origin of the kesro is not like an actual kesro, but like a kesro that we converted to kesro due to like pronunciation situation. Then you don't do terkik. It's not going to be irji'u, it will be irji'u. Did you get that?
Yeah.
What do you say about my explanation for like Turkic and Tafkhim? Have you heard anyone explain Turkic and Tafkhim like this before?
No.
Does it sound correct? Does it sound correct? Turkic
Yeah.
and Tafkhim, explaining it how you position your mouth. Hmm?
Yeah. Yeah.
It sounds correct. Okay, no problem, inshallah. Ajia, Indamala, do you have any questions? Okay, so for Wukuf and Ishmam, should I create a slide?
Yeah.
Eh?
Yeah.
Edamilun now. Should I create a slide or we should just use Quran to explain Wukuf
Yeah.
and look, I should create a slide. Okay, I'll try if I have the time. I'll try to
Then,
create a slide.
all
So I was
this,
thinking, eh?
sorry, when you're done, finish your speech first.
Oh, okay, yeah. I was thinking we should just use Quran, just use Quran. But like, if I create a slide, it means like I'll have had enough time to explain what I want to explain there. So we'll not even waste time beating about the bush when we want to do the class. So what do you want to say, Mr. Habib?
I was about saying that all the rulings we've learned, aren't we supposed to like practicalize them? Like,
Yeah, I think you were absent. There was a day we did a class and then people recited and we're after we finished Cameroon second and then like every people were reciting and then we are like showing them, okay, this is Idhar, this is Idgham.
I think I remember I slept on that day.
Oh, you were absent, right? Yeah. So you're not in the class. We did like an actual class of like, and at the end of the class, we can do that too.
I
We
was
can
wrong.
like, yeah, we can do that again. Like we'll let you implement Mudud. We'll give you examples. We ask you to read a particular verse and then like try to see the number of rules of the Tajweed you can remember. So for you to do that, I'll give you like 1 week to watch all the videos again and know all the rulings and try to see if you're going to read that verse, if you're going to be able to remember the rulings and not just remember them, implement them. Are we clear?
You
guys don't have energy today. I can see it clearly. You guys are really tired. Okay, let's end it as fast as possible. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا. Allah make it hujjah for us and nothing else. Our next class is tomorrow, right?
yeah.
Okay, no problem, inshallah. Okay.
Okay.
جزانا وإياكم.